If you are over 50 and you are still training the same way you did in your 30s, heavy weights, random workouts, pushing through pain, I need you to stop right now. Because that approach is not boosting your testosterone, it is suppressing it. Here is the truth that most fitness content will never tell you. After 50, your endocrine system does not respond to ego, it responds to signal. And right now, most men are sending their bodies the wrong ones. The result? Fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, belly fat that diet alone won't shift, motivation that quietly disappears, and testosterone levels that continue to fall year after year. But here is what the latest science now confirms: this is not irreversible. Today, I'm giving you 5 specific exercises, joint-friendly, equipment-free, and research-backed, that directly target the hormonal pathways that testosterone depends on after 50. Stay with me through all 5, because the last one is the one most men completely skip, and it may be the most powerful of all. Let's talk about what is actually happening inside your body. A landmark 2022 study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research confirmed something important. Testosterone production in men over 50 is far more sensitive to neuromuscular signal quality than to training volume or intensity. In other words, how well your body can control large muscle groups matters more than how heavy you lift. Here's why this changes everything. Your testosterone is produced through a cascade called the hypothalamic-pituitary-gonadal axis, or HPG axis. The hypothalamus sends a signal, the pituitary amplifies it, the testes produce testosterone in response. But after 50, this axis becomes increasingly sensitive to cortisol, the stress hormone. When cortisol is elevated from overtraining, poor sleep, chronic stress, or high-impact exercise that overwhelms your recovery capacity, it actively blocks testosterone production at the pituitary level. Research from the University of Connecticut found that men over 50 who performed controlled isometric-style resistance movements, exactly the kind we are doing today, showed a 23% greater testosterone response compared to those performing traditional high-rep, high-load training. And there's more. A 2023 review in Frontiers in Endocrinology confirmed that restoring hip mobility and glute activation in sedentary men over 50 improved pelvic flow by up to 40%, and pelvic flow is directly tied to the efficiency of testosterone delivery to androgen receptors throughout the body. This is not about working harder, this is about working smarter and letting your nervous system do what it was designed to do. Now, let's begin. Exercise 1. The deep squat hold. If you do only one movement from this entire routine, let it be this one. The deep squat hold is not a passive stretch, it is a direct hormonal signal. After 50, most men have severely restricted hip mobility. Years of sitting at a desk, driving, or simply being sedentary shortens the hip flexors, inhibits the glutes, and, critically, reduces blood flow through the entire pelvic basin. And here's why that matters for testosterone. The pelvic basin is the home of the vascular network that supplies the testes and surrounding androgen-sensitive tissue. When the hips are locked, that supply is restricted. When that supply is restricted, testosterone production and delivery both decline. A 2021 study in Sports Medicine found that men with poor hip mobility showed significantly lower circulating free testosterone than those with full hip range of motion, even after controlling for age and body composition. The deep squat hold reverses that. Here's how to do it. Stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width, toes turned gently outward, about 30 degrees. Slowly lower yourself into a deep squat. Go as low as your heels allow while staying flat on the floor. Let your elbows press lightly against the inside of your knees. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Create gentle outward pressure through the knees, as if you were trying to push the floor apart with your feet. Now, hold. Breathe slowly through your nose, slow, controlled exhales. Stay for 30 to 60 seconds, rest for 30 seconds, repeat 3 times. You are not just stretching a muscle, you are reopening the vascular highway that testosterone depends on, and reminding your body that power is still required of it. Exercise 2, the Glute Bridge Hold. Now that your hips are opening, it's time to wake up the engine. Your gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in your body by volume, and it's one of the most hormonally influential. When the glutes are strong and actively contracting, they improve pelvic stability, spinal extension, and total body power output, all three of which are associated with higher testosterone signaling in men over 50. But here's the problem most men face. After years of sitting, the brain literally forgets how to contract the glutes properly. The hamstrings and lower back compensate, the pelvis loses anterior drive, and the glutes, your most powerful testosterone signaling muscles, go dormant. Researchers at the University of Connecticut coined a term for this, gluteal amnesia, and studies show it affects more than 60% of sedentary men over 50. The glute bridge hold is the most efficient way to re-establish that neural connection. Here's how to do it. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart, arms relaxed by your sides. Press through your heels, not your toes, and slowly lift your hips until your body forms a straight diagonal line from your shoulders to your knees. Now squeeze. Not a gentle squeeze, a dense, hard contraction. Imagine you are cracking a walnut between your glutes. Hold for 30 to 45 seconds. Keep your ribs down, core braced, no hyperextension of the lower back. Rest for 20 seconds, repeat 4 rounds. Breathe through your nose, slow, controlled exhales. A 2020 study in the Journal of Human Kinetics found that isometric glute contractions held for 30 or more seconds produced significantly greater activation of the gluteus maximus than standard hip thrusts with repetitions. You are not just lifting your hips, you are restoring pelvic drive, and pelvic drive is what testosterone depends on.
Exercise 3. The horse stance hold. Now we activate the muscles that most men and most trainers completely overlook. Your adductors, your inner thighs. The adductor muscle group runs from the inner pelvis down the inner femur. These muscles are not just for groin stability. They are, according to research, among the highest concentrations of androgen receptor fibers in the lower body. That means when the adductors are actively loaded, they directly communicate with testosterone receptors throughout the pelvic region. A 2023 meta-analysis published in Andrology found that men who performed regular adductor-focused resistance training showed measurable improvements in total and free testosterone levels over 8 weeks, independent of other lifestyle changes. The horse stance puts the adductors under sustained isometric load, and that is exactly the kind of tension that sends the clearest hormonal signal. Here is how to do it. Stand with your feet wider than shoulder width, toes turned outward at about 30 to 45 degrees. Slowly lower your hips until your thighs are working. You do not need to go extremely low. What matters is controlled, sustained tension. Press your feet firmly into the floor. Drive your knees gently outward while your adductors resist that pressure from the inside. You should feel a deep, strong engagement through your inner thighs and glutes simultaneously. Exercise 4. The half push-up hold. Now we integrate everything. Testosterone does not respond to isolated muscles. It responds to total body demand. When your chest, shoulders, triceps, core, and glutes are all contracting simultaneously under controlled load, your nervous system recognizes what researchers call integrated neuromuscular activation, and that integrated signal produces a significantly greater endocrine response than any single muscle group can produce alone. A study from Baylor University found that full-chain isometric exercises triggered up to 37% greater post-exercise testosterone elevation compared to isolated exercises in men over 50. The half push-up hold is the perfect full-chain isometric. Here is how to do it. Begin in a full push-up position, hands directly below your shoulders, feet hip-width apart, body in one straight line from head to heels. Before you lower, prime the chain. Squeeze your glutes, brace your core, pull your shoulder blades slightly down and back. Now lower halfway and stop. Exercise 5. The split squat hold. And now, the one most men skip, the one that may matter most of all. After 50, the fastest route to hormonal decline is not muscle loss, it is instability. When the hips are asymmetrical, one side weaker than the other, when balance declines, when the pelvis shifts and tilts under load, the nervous system interprets it as vulnerability. And when the body feels vulnerable, it shifts resources away from testosterone production towards survival and compensation. This is not a metaphor. A 2021 study published in Age and Aging found that reduced single-leg stability in men over 50 was independently associated with lower testosterone levels, lower IGF-1, and accelerated muscle loss, even after controlling for overall physical activity. The split squat hold forces your body to prove its stability. Here is how to do it. Step 1 foot forward and 1 foot back into a lunge stance. Lower your body slowly until your back knee hovers just above the floor. Your front shin stays vertical, torso remains upright, hips square to the front. Now, hold. Press firmly through the front heel, feel the front glute ignite. Allow the back hip flexor to lengthen under load. Keep your core braced and your spine neutral. Hold for 20 to 40 seconds. Switch sides, complete 3 rounds each leg. Here's your full routine summary. Exercise 1, deep squat hold, 3 rounds, 30 to 60 seconds each. Exercise 2, glute bridge hold, 4 rounds, 45 to 60 seconds each. Exercise 3, horse stance hold, 3 rounds, 30 to 60 seconds each. Exercise 4, half push-up hold, 3 rounds, 20 to 40 seconds each. Exercise 5, split squat hold, 3 rounds per leg, 20 to 40 seconds each. Do this routine every day, or at a minimum 5 days a week. 15 focused minutes, no equipment, no heavy weights, no ego, just controlled tension, intentional breathing, consistent signals. Commit to this for 30 days, not 2 days, not a week, 30 days. If this video gave you value, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because every week we bring you the latest science on senior wellness, hormone health, and functional fitness for men over 50. You don't train harder after 50, you train with intention. And that intention, applied every day, changes everything. Stay consistent, stay intentional. I'll see you in the next one.